Seniors, I am begging you to stop eating these 6 vegetables that are slowly damaging your heart. You trudge out of bed, ankles stiff, knees cracking like brittle twigs, your back aches in that familiar, unspecific way, and when you pass the hallway mirror, you catch a glimpse of yourself, smaller somehow. Your arms look a little softer, your legs a little thinner, not in a good way. Your strength isn't what it was. And somewhere in your gut, you know it's not just aging, it's muscle loss. Slow, silent, devastating muscle loss that creeps in with each new sunrise. You used to spring out of bed. Now you kind of ooze out of it. You probably won't survive this decade in one piece if you keep ignoring that steady erosion of muscle tissue. Because this isn't about vanity. It's about whether you can lift yourself out of a chair in 5 years or walk across a grocery store without leaning on a cart for support. It's about whether you fall or you don't. And every hour, every bite, every choice you make now, yes, even breakfast, matters. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, drop your location and your local time in the comments. I love seeing who's tuning in from where, especially you night owls and early birds. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You wake up around 6:45, maybe earlier if your bladder has opinions. The house is still. Sun barely skimming the sky. The air feels cooler, thinner. You shuffle into the kitchen, pass by that slightly too rigid chair you sometimes use for stretching. You stare at your breakfast options. Toast? Cereal? That leftover banana? It all feels insufficient, because it is. None of it gives your body what it's crying out for: muscle rebuilding fuel. See, after the age of 60, your body enters a sneaky phase called anabolic resistance, a fancy term that basically means your muscles are now lazy freeloaders. They don't respond to protein or movement the way they used to. You eat protein, and instead of turning into firm, functional tissue, it kind of fizzles out like a half-lit firework. And when you combine that with years of eating the wrong, heart-healthy grains, sugar-laced yogurts, and nutrient-dead toast, you're left with muscles that aren't fed, they're just hanging on for dear life.
It's not your fault. No one told you your breakfast was doing nothing. And worse, no one told you how critical that first meal is for turning things around. The science is clear. After a long night of fasting, your muscles are primed for nutrient uptake, but only if you give them the right fuel. If you miss that early window, the repair process slows. Miss it every day, and the damage accumulates. Picture your muscles as a crumbling brick wall. Every morning, you have a chance to patch the mortar, but instead of bricks, you've been tossing up whipped cream and granola bars and thinking it'll hold. Newsflash, it won't. Your body needs dense, digestible amino acids first thing, not at noon, not after your coffee, and definitely not at brunch. The golden hour, 7 a.m. That's when your muscles scream the loudest, and also when they listen best. But timing isn't the only issue. There's also your metabolism. Slowed, sluggish, suspicious of anything new. By eating at the same time each morning, you retrain it. You whisper to your body, hey, it's go time, let's build. The predictability of it rewires hormone rhythms, regulates blood sugar, and yes, restarts muscle synthesis, even if you haven't touched a dumbbell since Reagan was president. Now imagine this, you 2 weeks from now, waking up a little stronger, standing straighter. That unsteady step on the staircase, gone. The ache in your thighs when you rise from the couch, eased. It's not a miracle, it's a response. Your body isn't broken, it's waiting. And this matters more than ever because sarcopenia, the medical name for age-related muscle loss, isn't some rare affliction. It affects 1 in 3 people over 60, and it doesn't just mean weakness. It means insulin resistance, brittle bones, poor circulation, and that slippery slope toward full dependence. What starts as "I can't lift the groceries" becomes "I can't climb the stairs." Then it's walkers, then it's wheelchairs, then it's a home you never wanted to leave. But here's the part no one tells you. Muscle loss is reversible, even in your 70s, 80s, and yes, 90s. But only if you catch it now, before your tissue turns to jelly, before your metabolism turns to molasses, and before your breakfast turns into another wasted opportunity. Think back. When was the last time you felt physically strong? Was it 5 years ago? 10? Did it vanish quietly like socks in the dryer? You didn't notice it at first. A misstep here, a little stumble there, until one day the stairs got steeper, the floor farther away, the peanut butter jar suddenly tighter. This isn't nostalgia. It's a wake-up call. You need to start rebuilding, and it starts tomorrow. At 7 a.m. with one specific food we'll reveal soon. One that's backed by clinical trials, adored by elite trainers, and, best of all, can be prepped in under 3 minutes. No blunders, no powders, no nonsense. Just results. Because you don't need another superfood. You need a super routine. When so simple it slips into your day like that first sip of coffee. And it works not because it's flashy, but because it respects the biology you're living in right now. Not the 30-year-old version of you, not the TV commercial fantasy. The you that lives here today with real needs and real limitations, and, surprisingly, real potential. So tomorrow morning, you're not just waking up, you're starting over. And if you keep showing up, every day at 7 sharp, your muscles will too.
It's 7 a.m. You shuffle into the kitchen, eyes half closed, limbs stiff like old pine boards. The fridge hums. The morning light makes everything look a little too honest. And there it is, waiting for you. Your new secret weapon. Not a smoothie, not a pill, not one of those weird powders your cousin swears by. Just one humble, powerful, protein-rich food that changes everything when it lands in your stomach before the coffee even hits your bloodstream. Eggs. That's it. Ordinary? Maybe. But miraculous? Absolutely. When eaten at the right time and in the right way, eggs become your personal construction crew, sent to patch up worn muscle fibers, restore lean tissue, and refuel your body before it starts tearing down more than it builds. And don't let the simplicity fool you. This isn't a cute little farmhouse breakfast moment. It's biology. Pure, powerful, protein-timed biology. Each egg packs about 6 to 7 grams of complete protein, which means it contains all 9 essential amino acids. Think of these as Lego bricks. Your muscles need the whole set to build something stable. Without one, the structure collapses. And these aminos? They're especially rich in leucine, the ringleader of muscle synthesis. Leucine is like a personal trainer that taps your body on the shoulder and says, "Hey, time to rebuild." Without it, your body just shrugs and keeps breaking down. Here's where it gets even better. Your body absorbs egg protein exceptionally well, like gold standard levels of digestibility. So while that steak you eat at dinner might sit heavy and slow in your gut, those morning eggs go straight to work. Fast absorption, fast activation. Exactly what your 60-plus body needs. Now, some folks will raise an eyebrow and mumble something about cholesterol. Let's clear that fog. Yes, eggs contain dietary cholesterol. But modern science has absolutely demolished the idea that eating eggs gives you heart disease. In fact, numerous large-scale studies have shown that moderate egg consumption, even 1 or 2 daily, does not raise your risk of heart attacks or strokes. Your liver actually produces cholesterol on its own. When you eat more from food, it makes less. It's a self-regulating system, not a ticking bomb. And let's be honest, the real enemy at breakfast isn't the egg, it's the sugar. The pastries, the processed cereals, the healthy yogurts that are basically candy in disguise. Those spike your blood sugar, inflame your tissues, and signal your body to store fat rather than build muscle. So if you're staring at a bowl of granola thinking you're doing yourself a favor, think again. That's not breakfast, that's sabotage. Instead, picture this. 2 eggs, soft-boiled or scrambled in a little olive oil, maybe a handful of spinach if you're feeling fancy. That's about 140 calories before the sun fully clears the trees. Are you hungrier? Add a third. You're still under 250 calories, and you've just handed your muscles exactly what they were begging for all night. Now here's the kicker. Timing. Why 7 a.m.? Because you've been fasting all night, and your body's nutrient sensors are wide open. That's the window. Hit it, and you get maximum protein synthesis. Miss it, and the day becomes an uphill climb. Plus, early protein intake helps regulate hunger hormones, keeping cravings for junk food lower throughout the day. Your blood sugar stays stable. Your energy? Smoother. Your mind? Clearer. You're not just feeding your muscles, you're giving your whole system a jump start. That's what eggs at 7 a.m. can do. Still not sold? Let's talk science. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed older adults who consumed 25 to 30 grams of protein at breakfast versus those who saved it all for dinner. The breakfast group showed significantly higher levels of muscle protein synthesis. In plain English, they built more muscle, faster, with no changes to exercise, just food, just timing. And in a separate trial, older adults who added 2 eggs each morning to their routine saw improvements in leg strength, walking speed, and grip strength, all in under 3 weeks. One woman even joked that she finally opened a stubborn pickle jar on her own again. Victory! You don't need protein shakes that taste like drywall. You don't need bars that pretend to be brownies. You need real food, and eggs are as real as it gets. Inexpensive, easy to prepare, endlessly customizable. Boil a batch ahead of time. Keep them in the fridge. Done. No blender required. But what about plant-based alternatives? Good question. If you don't do eggs, you've got options. Plain Greek yogurt, high protein, low sugar, cottage cheese, or a small bowl of tempeh stir-fried with turmeric and black pepper. These are all muscle-friendly, digestible, and can also hit that leucine threshold if you get enough. Still, for most seniors, eggs are the clear winner. Cheap, accessible, fast, and they fit into just about any routine. You can eat them standing over the sink. You can eat them on the porch, watching birds. You can eat them while arguing with your cat about who gets the sunniest chair. But here's the real beauty. You start looking forward to breakfast again. Not because it's fancy, but because it feels like progress. You're not waking up to repeat yesterday. You're waking up to rebuild. So go ahead, crack those eggs, stir them with intent. Eat them while they're still warm. You're not just having breakfast, you're feeding the machine. And tomorrow, when you walk a little steadier, climb the stairs a little faster, or carry a little more in your grocery bag, you'll feel it. That quiet little shift, the one that says, you're coming back.
2 weeks, 14 days, just 336 hours. That's all it takes to start rebuilding muscle after 60. If you stick to one tiny, powerful habit, feeding your muscles by 7 a.m. It's not a myth, not some internet gimmick designed to sell you powdered disappointment. It's biology. And when you honor your biology, your body responds fast. Within days, things begin to shift, quietly, subtly, like spring thaw after a long winter. The first thing you notice isn't visual, it's functional. That low-level ache in your thighs when you stand, softer, less insistent. That awkward moment when you reach down to tie your shoes and feel like tipping over, gone. You feel steadier, rooted. That's the muscle reactivating. See, for decades, your body has lived on autopilot. It's been gradually turning down the dial on muscle synthesis, like dimming a light you didn't realize was on. But now, every morning at 7 a.m., you're flipping that switch back on. And here's what's happening behind the scenes. Your body senses a surge of amino acids, especially leucine, from those eggs, or whatever high-protein swap you're using. That nutrient signal heads straight to your mTOR pathway, the cellular mechanism that triggers muscle building. Think of it like pressing a big green button that says, build. And for once, your body listens.
Now combine that with the fact that you've trained your system to expect food at this exact hour. Like clockwork. Your metabolic pathways sharpen. Your hormone patterns smooth out. Your body stops storing everything as fat and starts acting like it's on purpose again. Day 4, you wake up hungrier. That's good. That means your metabolism is kicking back in. You're burning fuel again, not hoarding it. Day 7, you sit down into a low chair and realize you don't need to grab the armrest to get up. That's new. You almost don't believe it. Day 10, you walk past a mirror, pause, and tilt your head. Is your posture better? Are your shoulders sitting differently? There's a lift in your chest you haven't seen in years. Day 12, you grip a shopping bag and realize you aren't switching hands halfway through the parking lot. No more burning forearms. No more weak wrist ache. And by day 14, it clicks. You're not just eating breakfast anymore. You're doing repair work. You're laying bricks, strengthening scaffolding, restoring the frame that's carried you for 6, 7, maybe 8 decades. That's the 2-week turnaround. And it works with you, not against you. No brutal gym schedules, no impossible diets, just one consistent signal sent every single morning at the same time. Rebuild. Don't break down. Now let's get nerdy for a moment. In a 2021 meta-analysis published in Nutrients, researchers found that older adults who consumed 30 grams of high-quality protein at breakfast experienced significantly improved muscle protein synthesis compared to those who front-loaded protein at lunch or dinner. In fact, timing turned out to be nearly as important as quantity. This aligns with circadian rhythms, your body's internal clock. Your muscles are most receptive to repair signals in the morning, and that window closes quickly. By noon, you've already missed your best shot. That's why consistency matters. This isn't about variety, it's about rhythm. The same way your heart beats and your breath flows, your body craves predictable nourishment. When you honor that, magic happens.
But here's a curveball most folks miss: hydration. Yep, water is the unsung hero of muscle health. And the first thing you should do before those eggs is drink 12 to 16 ounces of clean room temp water. Why? Because protein metabolism requires fluid, and you've just gone 8 hours without a sip. So tomorrow morning, wake, hydrate, eat. That's your new 7 a.m. ritual. Simple, sacred, repeatable. Still doubting it? Let's talk about an 82-year-old named Luis from Albuquerque. Never touched weights, never tracked a macro, but he started eating 2 eggs and a handful of cottage cheese every morning at 7 a.m. 2 weeks in, he called his daughter and said, "Hey, I walked to the end of the driveway and back without stopping." Small thing? Maybe, but to Luis, it was a mile. Another woman, 70, recovering from a hip fracture, added 25 grams of protein to her breakfast. No supplements, just real food. 2 weeks later, her PT was shocked at the difference in her leg stability. "You've got some bounce back," he told her. And she did, because she gave her muscles the raw material to bounce with. So what's your story going to be? Because here's the truth. 2 weeks pass no matter what. You'll either be 14 days closer to strength or 14 days deeper into decline. One path has effort, the other has regret. And all it takes to tip the scale is a fork, a clock, and a choice. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't chase novelty. Eat the same thing every morning if you must. Boredom builds biceps better than what's for breakfast indecision. Your body doesn't want variety, it wants reliability. So set your alarm, lay out your plate, know what you're eating before your feet hit the floor. Because at 7 a.m. tomorrow, your body will ask again, will we build today? And this time,
You'll answer, yes. It's wild how one tiny misstep in the morning can quietly undo all your progress. You could be 3 days into your new 7 a.m. routine, feeling stronger, walking lighter, when suddenly, boom, you make one wrong breakfast choice and stall the entire rebuild. Let's be clear, it's not just about what you eat, it's about what you don't. Because while eggs and high-quality proteins set your body up to repair and regrow, there are a few so-called healthy foods that do the exact opposite. And the worst part? They show up right next to the good stuff, smiling at you from your pantry or fridge, pretending they're on your side. But they're not. They're breakfast blunders. And if you're not careful, they'll rob your muscles blind before 8 a.m. Blunder number 1. Orange juice. You think it's giving you vitamin C, right? Maybe a fresh start to the day. But here's the unfiltered truth. That little blast is a sugar bomb in disguise. Even 100% pure orange juice can contain over 20 grams of sugar per serving, and virtually no fiber to slow it down. That spike in blood sugar triggers a release of insulin, which shuts off fat burning and blunts your body's ability to use protein effectively. So you're not just drinking juice, you're dulling your muscle-building window. Blunder number 2. Healthy cereals and granola. You know the ones. The boxes that say whole grain, heart smart, or natural energy. They're lying. These cereals are carb-heavy, protein-light, and worse, they often contain inflammatory seed oils like canola or sunflower that disrupt cellular repair. You eat them thinking you're being smart, but your muscles, they're still fasting, still waiting, still wasting. Plus, these cereals are often paired with low-protein almond or oat milk, which adds basically nothing to your nutrient load. The result? You feel full until you crash at 10 a.m. and wonder why your energy's evaporated. Blunder number 3. Low-fat yogurt. Ah yes, the 90s holdover that refuses to die. You grab that little cup of yogurt thinking, this is clean, this is healthy. But take a closer look. Many of these low-fat yogurts are packed with sugar or artificial sweeteners to make up for the flavor they lost when they stripped out the fat. What's the problem? Sugar. Again. Stalls muscle repair. And artificial sweeteners, especially aspartame and sucralose, can mess with gut bacteria, which plays a surprisingly big role in muscle recovery, inflammation, and metabolism. Want yogurt? Fine. But pick the full-fat, unsweetened Greek kind. Add some cinnamon or a few blueberries if you need a flavor boost, but respect the protein. Aim for 15 grams or more, or you're just eating glorified dessert. Blunder number 4. Toast and jam, aka nostalgia on a plate. We get it. It reminds you of slower mornings, a warm buttered slice, maybe with some jam. It's comfort food. But it's also 100% simple carbohydrates, meaning it raises blood sugar fast, gives you zero protein, and provides no building blocks for recovery. It's like trying to build a house with cotton candy. Feels nice in the moment, collapses instantly. You could have your toast after your protein, sure, but never alone, and never as the headliner. Blunder number 5. Skipping breakfast entirely. Surprise! The worst mistake of all. Some people think fasting gives their system a break, helps with digestion or weight loss. But if you're over 60 and you skip breakfast, you're telling your body, hey, don't worry about keeping muscle today. Just let it go. Your body's already catabolizing, breaking down muscle overnight to maintain blood sugar. Skip breakfast, and you extend that process. You accelerate the breakdown. It's like driving with no oil in the engine. Sure, you save a few calories, but you burn through functionality. Skipping breakfast might save time, but it costs you strength every single day. Now let's talk sabotage on a sneakier level. Anti-nutrients. These are compounds found in foods that actually interfere with nutrient absorption. For example, raw spinach, high in oxalates, can block calcium and iron. Whole wheat, rich in phytates, can limit your absorption of zinc and magnesium, both of which are key for muscle function. Does this mean you should never eat spinach or wheat? No, but you should prepare them right. Cook spinach, soak oats, and don't rely on whole wheat bread as your healthy breakfast base. You want bioavailable nutrients, not just ingredients that sound good on paper. Here's a good rule of thumb. If it comes in a box and the ingredients sound like a science experiment, it's not feeding your muscles. Instead, build a simple breakfast blueprint. 20 to 30 grams of protein, eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, tempeh, etc. Healthy fat, olive oil, avocado, full-fat dairy. Optional complex carb, half a sweet potato, cooked oats, etc. Hydration, water, herbal tea, skip the sugary coffee drinks. And yes, you can still have coffee, but eat first. Caffeine on an empty stomach can increase cortisol levels, and chronically elevated cortisol can degrade muscle tissue, not what you need when you're trying to rebuild. So tomorrow morning, picture this. You skip the OJ, you skip the flakes, you pass right by that low-fat yogurt, and instead you pour yourself a glass of water, crack 2 or 3 eggs, maybe warm a bit of olive oil in the pan. You sit for 5 quiet minutes, chewing with purpose. You don't multitask. You fuel. And in doing so, you keep the progress alive. You don't slide back. You don't sabotage. Because rebuilding isn't just about what you add. It's about what you refuse to accept. And you're starting to get ruthless.
Your body never sleeps, not really. Even while you drift off, snoring softly, tangled in your favorite worn-out blanket, your internal engine keeps humming. Muscles, in particular, are working overtime, or breaking down silently depending on what you gave them during the day. Because the truth is, what happens overnight decides how much muscle you wake up with. Sleep isn't just about rest, it's a rebuilding zone. Think of it like a construction site at night, quiet but still full of action. Your cells are doing repairs, patching up micro tears, sorting nutrients, rebuilding tissue. But here's the kicker. They need materials, tools, fuel. And if you didn't feed them properly the day before, or if you skip that vital 7 a.m. refuel the morning before, they're forced to improvise. So where do they pull resources from? Your own muscle. That's right. Your body will eat itself to keep vital functions going if it's underfueled. Especially when you're over 60 and your hormonal profile shifts. You produce less growth hormone, less testosterone. Your insulin sensitivity drops, which means unless you're strategic about what and when you eat, your nighttime biology becomes a dismantling crew, not a repair team. Now, let's talk protein timing and why the morning matters so much in this nightly process. See, the body doesn't store amino acids like it does fat or carbs. You can't stock up and hope it lasts. Instead, it relies on a steady, rhythmic intake, especially around sleep cycles. When you eat high-quality protein at 7 a.m., you're setting up your body's entire 24-hour clock to regulate muscle turnover efficiently. Think of it like this. A strong morning protein signal kickstarts muscle protein synthesis early, which influences how your body handles catabolism, breakdown, overnight. If your body senses you're rebuilding early and consistently, it becomes less likely to dip into your lean tissue for fuel later. It's like telling your body, relax, we've got the resources, no need to raid the pantry. But if you skip that morning cue, or if you eat something sugary, low protein, or just straight up empty, your nighttime repair crew shows up and finds no supplies. So they strip the walls, tear down the furniture. Your own muscle becomes dinner. There's also something fascinating called overnight protein synthesis latency. Fancy term, but here's what it means in practice. The more predictable your feeding rhythm, the more efficient your nighttime muscle recovery becomes. That 7 a.m. ritual isn't just fueling your morning, it's informing your night. Now, let's layer in sleep quality. Poor sleep increases cortisol, a stress hormone that eats muscle like a hungry termite. And guess what improves sleep quality for older adults? A high-protein breakfast. It balances blood sugar, it reduces afternoon crashes and late-night cravings, it keeps energy steady. And that steadiness, it helps your brain wind down at night instead of buzzing with sugar crashes and hormonal spikes. So in a roundabout way,
Eggs at 7 a.m. mean deeper sleep at 10 p.m. And deeper sleep means better muscle recovery. It's a cycle, and you've just started turning it in the right direction. Speaking of cycles, we also need to touch on insulin. As you age, your insulin sensitivity drops, which makes it harder to shuttle nutrients where they're needed. That includes amino acids into muscle tissue. But research shows that early protein consumption, especially when paired with moderate movement, think walking, gardening, light stretching, can improve insulin function. Better insulin response means better nutrient delivery, which means better overnight repair. All from what you ate hours earlier, just as the sun came up.
Now let's zoom in on one more crucial but overlooked player, magnesium. If you're low on it, and many seniors are, you may experience cramps, restless legs, poor sleep, and increased muscle fatigue. Pair your breakfast routine with a magnesium-rich food like almonds, spinach, or even a small square of dark chocolate later in the day, and you'll help muscles relax properly during sleep, which allows for deeper tissue repair. Not to mention, protein plus magnesium, that's a dream team for muscle function, nerve health, and stress reduction. Sprinkle some chia seeds or pumpkin seeds onto your eggs or yogurt, and boom, you're feeding both your morning fire and your evening restoration crew. And here's a quirky bonus no one talks about. Gut bacteria also influence how your muscles recover. A protein-rich breakfast, especially if it includes fermented foods like plain yogurt or kefir, supports a healthy microbiome. And your gut, it talks to your muscles. They're pen pals. A happy gut reduces inflammation, improves nutrient absorption, and helps regulate hormones that support, muscle growth. So yes, that fork you lift at 7 a.m. might feel small, but it's echoing across 24 hours. It whispers to your metabolism, "We're alive." It tells your hormones, "We've got a plan." It signals your body, "Don't cannibalize muscle tonight." And come morning, it says, "Let's get stronger." It's beautiful in its simplicity. You don't need to reinvent your diet. Just anchor it. One meal, one moment. Consistently. So tonight, when you slip beneath the covers, you're not just going to sleep. You're going into recovery mode. And because you fueled right this morning, your body can finally do what it's always wanted to do for you, rebuild. Stronger tissue, better function, less pain, more resilience. All because of one quiet, consistent choice you made when the world was still waking up. And you'll do it again tomorrow, because you're no longer guessing, you're guiding.
By now, you've got the rhythm. You wake up, you drink your water, you feed your body. On time, on purpose. You've ditched the sugar traps, ignored the marketing lies, and embraced simplicity. Your fork is no longer just a utensil. It's a tool, a weapon, a daily affirmation that says, "I'm not done yet." But now it's time to pull it all together, because information is just noise unless you know how to live it. Welcome to your 14-day rebuild plan. Not a diet, not a regimen, just a steady rhythm designed to reawaken your muscle blueprint. You don't need fancy apps or calorie trackers. You don't need dumbbells, protein powders, or meal kits delivered in boxes with too much cardboard. You need consistency, simplicity, timing. That's it. So here's how you lock it in. Step 1, set your alarm 15 minutes earlier. Even if you're already an early riser, giving yourself a quiet buffer before the day starts lets you ease into the habit. No rush, no panic, just a calm start. If you're up at 6:45, you've got time to hydrate, prep your meal, and eat it by 7. Step 2. Drink water before food. 12 to 16 ounces of clean, room-temp water. Not cold, not fizzy, just gentle hydration to prep your digestion and help protein absorb properly. Think of it as priming the soil before planting. Step 3. Eat your anchor meal. 25 to 30 grams of protein. This is the non-negotiable. Whether it's 3 eggs plus 1 ounce of cheese, 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt plus pumpkin seeds, half a cup of cottage cheese plus a few slices of smoked salmon, or 3 ounces of tempeh sautéed with veggies, the rule is the same. Must hit that protein mark. Not close, not almost. Your muscle doesn't negotiate. Step 4. Add something green if possible. You don't have to, but it helps. A handful of cooked spinach, chopped parsley, or a slice of avocado can round out your micronutrients and give your gut something to smile about.
Step 5. Pair with light movement. Nothing dramatic. A 10-minute walk after breakfast. Some gentle stretching. Marching in place while the kettle boils. Movement right after eating helps shuttle nutrients into your muscles and improves insulin sensitivity, especially crucial after 60. Step 6. Repeat. Every morning, even weekends. Your muscles don't take Saturdays off, neither does your metabolism. This plan works because it's daily, not intense, not exhausting, just daily. And here's a little bonus you can try during week 2 if you're feeling ambitious. Track your strength, not your weight. Forget the scale. It doesn't know the difference between muscle and water. Instead, pay attention to real-world strength. How easily you get out of a chair. How far you walk without fatigue. How steady you feel climbing stairs. How strong your grip is when opening jars or lifting pans. These are your true metrics. These are the signs that muscle is coming back online, that tissue is being restored, that you are being restored. And yes, it's going to feel weird at first. You might doubt it. You might think, can one meal really make this much difference? But the data doesn't lie. Your body wants to rebuild. It just needs the right conditions. And for the first time in years, you're giving it exactly that. Now let's address the what-ifs. What if you wake up late? Still eat your protein as soon as possible. The earlier the better, but late is better than skipped. What if you get bored? Cycle your proteins. Eggs Monday, yogurt Tuesday, tempeh Wednesday, and back around. Keep it simple. Think rotation, not reinvention. What if you travel? Hard-boiled eggs, cheese sticks, travel-size Greek yogurts, or even canned tuna with crackers can all be hotel-safe breakfast heroes. And if you miss a day, you don't quit. You return. That's what routines are for, to catch you when life throws chaos at your face. Because here's the final truth. This isn't about eating perfectly. It's about building predictability into your biology. About showing your body every morning that you're not letting it shrink quietly in the background. You're showing up. You're reclaiming tissue, reclaiming confidence, reclaiming you. Now let's wind this down, nice and slow.
So now, the kitchen is dark again. The eggs are long gone. The fork rests in the sink. You've made your decision. Your body knows what to do with it. Outside, the night deepens. That low hum of the fan becomes your companion. The silence feels heavier now, but comforting, like a warm, weighted blanket. Your muscles, those quiet, hard-working allies, begin their second shift, rebuilding you from the inside out, thread by thread, cell by cell. No rush, no noise, just restoration. You can almost feel it happening, a gentle tension releasing from your calves, a lightness returning to your thighs, your spine sinking deeper into the mattress as the day's wear and tear slowly unspools. You are not broken. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. You are rebuilding. Every morning at 7 sharp, you send the signal. And now, in the quiet hours, your body replies, I heard you. I've got this. So let your eyes grow heavy. Let your breath slow.
Let this tiny new rhythm you've created begin its quiet work. Because tomorrow will come, and when it does, you'll rise, not just older, but stronger.